This Vinny Vid production brought to you by Yankee Dabbler. For a 7% discount on your purchases, use code BNSF6951. And by Highways and Byways, awesome graphics for your streets and roads on your model layout. Check it out. Hey guys and gals, welcome back to another Vinny Vid Productions video. I am Vinny, your host, also known as BNSF6951. This is a model railroad channel. So if you guys are interested in run-up sessions, scratch builds, live streams, prototypes, and everything related to model railroads, this is the channel for you. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button down there, hit the bell that's up there, and give me those too. Anyhow, with all that being said, let's get on with the video, so come on in. Oh no! More Wickenburg? If you want to see what I'm doing in this video, major changes number 53, it's called Streets and Roads. Stay tuned because the video is coming right up. Alright guys, we're back here at the Wickenburg area, and as you can see right here, I'm going to add a new road here in the front. Only because I need to have some turn lanes to get into the other streets that go across the track and back into the town. So I went ahead and I cut these up at, I believe they're 40 feet across. And I know it's not going to be prototypical as far as the size of the lanes. But when you're restricted to space, you have to do what you have to do to make it work. So the very first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this out to my garage. And I am going to paint it all the same color black as these guys. Once the black is done, I will use some masking tape from underneath and put these all together so they all line up, and then I will draw my lines for all the striping that I'm going to be doing. And I will be using, of course, my Highways and Byways striping kit. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and get these a paint job, and then we'll be back. So stay tuned, and we'll see you in a bit. Alright guys, the next step we're going to do while the paint dries for the new roads is go ahead and sand this down a little bit so I have a good gluing surface, because I'm not going to tear up this old road. It's down there pretty good. As you can see, I started to take it up here and it just cracked in half. So I'm just going to use this little sanding block right here and just scuff it up enough that I can have a good gluing surface. So here we go. That's all I need. So now we'll just wait for the paint to dry, and then we'll come back in here and we'll start putting this road together and see what we come up with. Be right back. Alright guys and gals, now that we have all the roads in place and pretty much where I want them to be, what I'm going to do now is I am going to start marking off where some of my crosswalks are going to go, and railroad crossing signs and all that kind of good stuff is going to go. Anyhow, I'm going to take my little straight edge that I have here, and I'm going to put it from sidewalk to sidewalk. I'm trying not to get my big hands in the way. And now, let's see, this guy here is a little crooked, so let's put him out a bit. And that looks pretty good, like right there. And then we'll take this pencil right here, and we'll just go ahead and draw the first line here. And then for the second line, I will use the buildings as my guide. So let's just pull this over here for now. Make sure that he's straight. Alright. And now, we just make sure that's straight right there. And we'll go ahead and draw my line. Alright. And so I'm going to do that the same to the other two. I'm also going to draw my center line in there, and we'll see how that's going to work out. So with all that being said, stay tuned and we shall be right back. Alright guys, we're still waiting for paint to dry, so in the meanwhile what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and stripe up the side streets, and as you can see I've got the stop lines here and the crosswalk, and I also have my center line drawn, and we're going to use the highways and byways white striping for this. And so with that being said, we'll go ahead and start doing this. I have already kind of gave these little tick marks of how wide I want these to be, because I usually do is I wrap them under. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and start. We're just going to give this a little bit of a slicey poo right there, and then we're just going to go ahead and lift him up and put him down. Oops, stop. Put him down right on that line. And what I like about these, until you actually push them down, you can manipulate them. Alright, that's one. And always a good thing to get a better view of what you're doing. That one didn't look straight. There. Alright, that's my first line, and like I said, I wrap the ends under. And I give it a good push down. And now we'll do the next one, which will be the same thing, except we'll do the front. Alright, and put him on the inside of that line. And this one looks a bit crooked. Let's see. Let's try this again. There. That looks better. What do you think? And then we will do a center line here. We're not going to do a full center line, a partial center line, and then a stripe. After that, we're actually going to, I was using HO for these stop lines right here. Now I'm going to go ahead and switch over to the N scale. Okay, wow, these are really tiny. The first thing I want to do is I want to get, let's see. If you guys remember the last time I showed you how to do this, the parts that you don't use you can stick back on the paper and they will stick. So let's see, we will do this here. And I don't want this to go that far back, so cut it right there. And then we will just put a stripe back here. And we also need to put a stripe. No, I don't think that, because this is going to be an intersection right here. So I don't think there's any stripe that's going to go across here. We'll see when we get back on the layout. Anyhow, as you can see, it didn't take very long for that. And I think that looks pretty good when it's on the layout with a couple of vehicles on it. Like for instance, we'll put a vehicle on there right now. I do have enough room for actually parking up alongside the curb, and still enough room for another vehicle to pass by. So, with that being said, let's move on. I'm going to go ahead and do the rest of these off the camera, and then we'll get back to you guys. Alright guys, now that I have all the streets lined, my next step is going to be to put this, I don't know if you guys are going to see that, but it says stop right there, and I'm going to put that right here. This is for the traffic that would be entering and crossing over the track. So this is the crosswalk here, this is where the intersection would be, and this is where the track would be. So what you need to do with this is peel the backing off like that, and then line this up where you want to put it, and I think just about the middle of this would work, and just a small fraction below that line, and I'll give it a little rub with my fingers, and then I will take this pretty cool ball tip applicator. I don't know exactly what it's for. It was a gift from Dave BNSF N Scale. So we just go ahead and we'll burnish this in. Now once it's burnished in, if it's not straight, you're going to have to scrape it up. You won't be able to use it again. So that's why I suggest, while you're doing this, is to, when you think it's ready, to peel it up from one of the corners, like this, and slowly pull it up and see if it actually starts to stick down to the road, which it looks like it did. I think we need to get the P. No, well, actually the P looks right too. So we'll just get a little bit more burnish, and we'll go the opposite way, and let's see what we have. And as you can see, that it is actually starting to stick down to the road, and you just need to pull it up nice and slow. And there you go. How's that? Pretty cool, eh? Anyhow, there'll be more graphics that'll be going on here. Like I said, I do have enough room for a car to actually park in here and a car for traffic. So, with that being said, I'm going to do 2 more of these like this, and then we'll be back and we'll see what it looks like on the layout. Alright guys, there you go. There's some of the graphics that I'm going to put on these roads. Once I get it installed more permanent on the layout, there'll be more graphics added to this. Anyhow, for now, that's what we're going to do. I think the other roads are pretty dry right now, so let's move on into the layout and see what's going to be going on there. So with that all being said, stay tuned and we will be right back. Alright guys, as we continue on the road system here in Wickenburg, as you can see, I've got my Strike Street in place with my stop logo on the sidewalk, and I'm not sure where I'm going to put the railroad crossing. I'll probably put it back here. It's the only logical place I could put it. So anyhow, we continue on down there, and you can see, and I got the camera in a real particular place here, where I got it balanced kind of on the lower layout with about 6 inches of space in between it. Anyhow, there's the other one, and I'll pan around this way, and you can see the third one right there. So now the next step is going to be to start putting these roads together so I can get a nice straight line going down the center. And as you can see, I've already got some masking tape right there, getting ready to attach this piece. And then as we pan around with that, oops, I should zoom out a bit. There we go. And I got that one ready for the next one, and then that one down there ready for the next one. So anyhow, I'm going to go ahead and reposition this camera, and we'll continue on from there. So stay tuned and we'll be back shortly. Alright guys, as you can see, I've got my roads ready, as I showed you in the previous clip, that I have my masking tape here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this road up against the seam and try and make the seam as invisible as possible. And this is going to be a kind of a road that I've never done before, so I'm going to give it a shot and see how it's going to look. So what I'm trying to say is this road actually has to have a center turn lane. Let's see if I can get a better shot on that. Tilt this down a bit maybe. There you go. So I have drawn up this template, and you'll have to imagine that there's one more lane on this side. I just didn't want to take away from this little bit of space that I got in here, only so I could put some really cool scenery like cactus and stuff like that. So anyhow, it's going to be a 2-lane road in each direction with a center turn lane and a right-hand turn lane. So with all that being said, I need to get all of this set up, put these all together, and then I will use my 3-foot yardstick, clamp it down, and start drawing out my lines. So with all that being said, stay tuned and we will be right back. Hey, look, a UP hat. Oh no! Bye. Alright guys, now that I have pretty much down where I want to have it, and I noticed that I'm a little bit long on that end, but that's okay. I can always trim that end down because this end here looks pretty good where I want it. So the next thing for me to do is I'm going to draw my center line, and my center line is going to be one of the lines for the turning lane. So with that being said, I need to get the proper tools ready, and we'll start doing that. So stay tuned and we'll be right back. Alright guys, as you can see right now I have 6 feet of yardstick in place, and so my next step is going to be to draw the left outside lane of the turn lane. Did that make sense? I hope so. Anyhow, I wanted this to be as straight as possible all the way down the entire length. I mean, there's probably another 18 inches at the end that these do not do, so I'm going to have to do that one separately. Anyhow, with that being said, if I can find my pencil, hello pencil, calling all pencils, calling all pencils, please report to cousin Vinny. Anyhow, let me find the pencil and we'll be back. Alright guys, I found my pencil, you know, as usual, it's right in front of my face. Anyhow, I'm going to very lightly draw this line down because once I start putting the striping down, I cannot erase what needs to be erased. So I'm going to try and stop and start these at the intersections, so we'll see how that works out. Anyhow, here we go. Alright, that is the first line that we need. Now we're going to measure out the lane and do the right outside lane of the turn lane. So with that being said, let me rearrange the tape measure, the yardsticks, and we will continue on. Alright guys, next step I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and measure the lane width and do that all the way down, and then we will do the same process. We'll clamp down the yardsticks and we'll go ahead and draw those lines out, and then we will do the turn lanes as I have on my little template, if you want to call it that. So anyhow, with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and start doing this. Alright guys, now that I have my marks, I'm going to go ahead and clamp down my my steel edges and go ahead and draw this out, and we will continue on. Alright guys, as you can see, I've got my straight edges lined up again, and I am going to go ahead and draw the lines I need. Now, I understand that this looks like it takes a long time, and it does take a long time, but this is the way I feel most comfortable doing my roads. I think the finished product looks okay. And for my railroad, I like it. So anyhow, let's go ahead and do this and get this out of the way. Alright guys, both lines from my center turn lane are done. I am not going to do the little yellow striping that's going to be in there until after I put the first yellow, or actually the first 2 yellow lines down. So, and with that being said, the next step we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and do our turning lane right here. Like I said, you have to imagine that this is a 4-lane road, and everybody's problem is a lack of space. So anyhow, with that being said, I'm just going to go ahead and measure this out at 10 feet. Let's see, where are we? Alright, so we're going to come out 10 feet here. And I don't know how long to make a turning lane, but we'll just go ahead and make it like right here. And for this, I'm just going to go ahead and use my little steel edge. And there'll be some more of the highways and byways graphics going in here. Alright, so we got that right there. That's going to be solid line. And we'll put a stop line there also. Not quite sure what type of traffic control I'm going to have here. I need to speak with Mr. Corey, KRP Models, and ask him if he can do something for me. And if he can, that'll liven up this area quite a bit. So anyhow, we're going to go ahead and measure this side. And like I said, guys, I mentioned this in all my videos. A lot of this modeling stuff requires patience. So you need to have patience when you're working on your layout. Alright. So now, let's go ahead and put this guy in here. And of course, he's just not long enough. But it'll be okay. So you need to draw your lines as light as possible, guys, so you don't see them when you do your finished product. Anyhow, so I have my turning lane here, and I have the continuation lane on this side. This will get white stripes on this side. So with all that being said, let me continue on doing this, and we'll be back shortly. Alright guys, all my lines are drawn out now, and I am actually standing on a step stool so I can get a view over the line. So when I start laying my stripes down, I'll be able to make sure that I am following the line as I have them drawn out. I did stop it at each intersection, so for left turns and right turns will be all good. Anyhow, I'm going to do the first road right here, and we'll see where we're going to go from there. It might be the end of this video. I'm not 100% sure yet. We'll see as we go along. So with all that being said, let's get started doing this. Now, of course, I'm going to be using the highways and byways. And this may look like one big blob of yellow, but if you look really close, you can see that there are lines in there. So, excuse me. So what we need to do now is just basically stick our fingernail under and peel up. Now these here, and I've done these several times, these are just peel and stick. And as you see, here's the first one. And we're going to do our center line first. And we're going to be right on that line. And we will just continue down up to here. And then we will do our second yellow line on this side. And I think we're going to end the video there. I'm not sure yet, but we'll see. So we'll go ahead and peel the next guy off. Uh-oh. Oh, duh. Peeling the wrong side. This is the side I need to be peeling. Come on, Vincent. Get up there. He made these decals a little bit different than he usually did. I think just to get more on there. Yeah, come on. we will do the other side of this line. Oh, I gotta go down further. Nope, it's not straight. Try and get it as straight as you can, guys. The straighter it is, the better it will look. And before you actually press down on it, you can keep picking it up and putting it down, and it will stick. Alright, so there's your next one. And we'll continue up to this line right here. And then we'll do the other side with the white, I think. We'll see. We'll see how far we get with this. These roads take quite a long time to do, and this is going to be like a whole video by itself. Now, I always tell you guys that this stuff is thin enough to overlap it. So I do overlap it just by a little bit, making sure that it is perfectly square with the one that's before it. Right there, and we'll run it out to right there. Let's see, I know I got a knife here somewhere. And now to cut this, very easy. All you need to do is take your knife and push down on it, and there you go. So that one's done. Now unfortunately this piece is too short. I don't want to use it and have two different joints here, so we'll just put this back on the paper, and it will stick back on the paper. And we will go ahead and take our next yellow stripe. Now I've done videos on this road striping stuff a lot of different times, but I really do sincerely think that this is an awesome item. Now you can see right here it's not straight, so what I'll do is with my knife gently get under there and pick it up, and actually the one under it is not straight either. You gotta try and do this without messing on the paint. So yeah, that's better. Remember what I said, guys, the straighter you get this stuff, the better it's going to look. So again, I always reiterate, patience is a very valuable tool in this hobby, and you need to have quite a bit of it, because there'll be days when you get really frustrated and you don't want to work on the layout. Take a break, walk away, go have a cup of coffee. If you smoke, go have a cigarette. Not that I'm promoting cigarettes, because I did quit. Alright, so now I'm going to do that, and you can actually hear when it cuts, you can hear a little snap. Alright, so to finish this, I'm going to have to put yellow striped lines in there, but we're not going to do that right now. I'm going to put this back on the paper right here. And now what we'll do is the white dashed lines, or lane divider lines. And again, the highways and byways, and you can see, I think you can see this, where they're actually cut into lane divider lines. And you guys are going to think I'm crazy the way I do this, but I will start the first one right here, and then I will use this car to measure out where each one will go after that. So in actuality, this first one here is actually me, not a stripe, but just a little bit longer. So I have a piece of scrap right here, well, not scrap, but an old one that I cut off. So we're going to use that one, and we're going to put him at the start. And again, make sure he's straight. Alright. It's got a little bit of wiggle in it. And I don't know if I'll be okay with that or not. Actually, I should have my tweezers out here. And that might be a good thing for me to do. There you go. Alright, now, from this point, I'll measure a car length. And I'll put my next stripe in front of the car. And that's how I will do my lane dividers. So with that being said, we'll go ahead and peel a couple of these guys off. So here we go. Take him and put him on the line. Here's my knife. The one bad thing about the N-scale part of the model railroading is we have very, very poor selection on automobiles. So whatever we can get our hands on, we use, and most of the time they're European cars. I just saw something on Amazon that I'm probably going to get. It's probably got like 100 cars in it, because this road that I'm doing right now is going to require a lot of cars, both on the road that I'm doing and on the other side of the track. So, let's see. Come on. Move the camera down a bit so you can actually see what I'm doing. And now we're coming up to an intersection here. So, we're going to do one more stripe. We'll see how that looks. And then we'll do one solid line. Oh boy, is that one really crooked or what? Alright, and now from there is an intersection right here, as you can see, and I need to trim these yellow ones off. Usually what I'll do is I'll tuck them underneath and put a little dab of glue on there just to secure them. But from here, we're just going to take a piece and we're just going to do a straight line. Let me see. And I'll just do a short stripe right there. It'll be okay. But there'll be a couple of arrows here, a right turn arrow and a left turn arrow, because you can't go any further than this road that's here. So with that being said, let me add this last stripe down here. Alright. And now to be consistent, when I do the yellow stripes, I'll do the same exact thing. I'll stop my first yellow one here. I guess I'll stop my stripes at the beginning here. But we'll see how that goes. I'm not a road person. I'm not an engineer or anything like that. I'm just doing what I think is the way it should be. Alright, so there. I should put a stop line there too. I think I'll do that. So anyhow, you can see how this how this road is actually shaping up. Now I'm going to have to draw a line in here so I could have something to follow when I start laying out the stripes that are in here. But anyhow, I think that is going to be, well, you know what, I'll finish this piece right here, and I think that'll be the end of this video. So let me go ahead and just get a piece of white right here. Now I'm going to make these turn lanes about 60 feet long, or between 50 and 60 feet long, so they're all uniform along the entire road. So yeah, I'm making these approximately 50 feet long, and there'll be an arrow, turn arrow in there to designate that it is a turn lane. Alright guys, I think that's about as far as we're going to go in this video. I'm trying to keep them short. So anyhow, as you can see, we're making some progress on my roads here in Wickenburg. Some of the striping is done, some of the turn lanes are done. Need to do a whole bunch of striping in here and possibly put a white stripe on the outside here. I'm not 100% sure of that because of how small this lane is already. So anyhow, with all that being said, as always, your questions, comments, inputs, subs, shares, and likes are always welcome. For now, that's all, folks. BNSF 6951. And don't forget the cuz, we're out for now.